It's me, your local ace, David McDing.
Yeah! No! No!
I was in the neighborhood, so I thought I'd stop on by and tell you about the joys of flight sims. That's right, I'm ready to get you invested and seated in a timeshare cockpit with me. Let me start this off by saying, I'm not a pilot. Me have basic understand of what make plane, not car, and I wouldn't be able to confidently explain it to you. But that's fine, because I don't need to be a pilot. I need to be a gamer. I've spent most of my time with 3 games: DCS, IL-2, 1946, and Rise of Flight. Obviously, there are many other flight sims that I didn't just say. These were the 3 I had on hand that I was most interested in playing. I think Rise of Flight is the most fitting game to start with, seeing as it's literally the birth of Warbirds. Just kidding, that's a DLC. If you get into flight sims, you're gonna see those a lot. Honestly, I didn't spend nearly as much time with the Rise of Flight as I wanted to, but did I enjoy it? Absolutely, that's why it's on here. It's literally a Rise of Flight. It's World War I dogfights. It doesn't get much more flight sim than that. One thing I do want to point out, Rise of Flight is basically being ported over to IL-2 Battle of Stalingrad. Speaking of IL-2, IL-2, 1946, the best IL-2. It's literally my favorite game. It is old, about 20 years old, but for just $10, you get way more content than Rise of Flight and DCS combined. Something DCS is completely lacking, and Rise of Flight never really excelled at, is dynamic campaigns. IL-2 not only excels at dynamic campaigns, it's expanded on in the Pacific Fighters, and you can even customize that in the conf file. And if you manage to get tired of everything IL-2 can provide you in base game, you're in luck. The B.A.T mod packs alone provide me with more content than I could want. Everything from pre-World War I to Cold War jets. If you want something that's a little bit lighter, but still extremely copious in content, you could get the VP mod pack with the Jet War add-on. There's just so much more to do in it. But sadly, even with all the mods, IL-2 is a very tame sim compared to DCS. Let me explain it this way. This is how you start the P51 in IL-2.
So I press the engine on button.
Easy. And this is how you start the P51 in DCS.
Okay, generator, battery, fuel shutoff on, fuel booster, ignition, primer. Hold it for a bit. Let go. Starter. That on. That's a P51.
I feel like DCS is a big part of the reason people are scared away from flight sims. Look at all these buttons. These don't all need to be mapped, but to fly efficiently, a good amount of them will be. DCS has 2 kinds of planes, low fidelity and high fidelity. High fidelity planes are the fancy expensive planes with the clicky dials. Low fidelity are any planes included in Flaming Cliffs. The biggest reason I prefer IL-2 over DCS is because even though I would play IL-2 a bit more arcadey, I'd still get a good sim feel and all I needed is a joystick. DCS is the game to play if you literally just want to learn how to fly a plane. I've managed to play it with an Xbox controller, I managed to play it with just a joystick, but I don't think I'll ever get the full enjoyment out of DCS without the rest of the equipment. Believe it or not, flight sims are actually really expensive to get into. If you want everything besides just a joystick, you're going to be paying a lot. Like a lot. A lot of people seem to think you need a HOTAS to play flight sims effectively. I disagree. I partake in the art of not flying. That means no throttle. Personally, I don't think a throttle would do much for me. All the extra buttons on it would be nice to have, but I don't need them. Same with rudder pedals. My stick has a Z-axis. It's not perfect, but I don't need rudder pedals to play. Since I really didn't feel the need for a HOTAS, I decided instead to get VKB's premium Gladiator NXT stick. For roughly the same price, I could have gotten Thrustermaster's T16KM HOTAS set. It basically comes down to, what do you want, what do you need, and what can you actually afford? If you just want to try out flight sims, don't even worry about buying any of these. I really wanted to make this video to break the stigma that you need the complete setup. You need a fully recreated cockpit to play flight sims. You don't, at all. You don't even need half of it. I'd be lying if I said I didn't notice a considerable change in my performance after getting a joystick. I got a lot better, I had a lot more fun, it was a much greater experience. There's a lot I didn't get into in this video. Certain things I just couldn't do, like head tracking. If I went into as much detail as possible, this would be a very long video, and I don't want to make a long video. I really just wanted to spend some time talking about something I've been doing for the last 2 months. If you enjoyed the video, then hopefully, I've convinced you to try out flight sims. Maybe I'll see you in the sky. Ace.